Hello, it is now 7:07 p.m. IMC. Ron Allen.
I'm Daryl Creary, and warm welcome to each of you to this week's edition of Community Conversation.
Here at Community Conversation, we take full advantage of remote technology to bring our young kings and queens together with members of the community leaders, and their peers across the country. As you will see tonight, this 1 hour forum deepens connections and it provides discussions on a range of topics, including social, emotional issues, race and inequality, improving relations with law enforcement, post-secondary education, politics, careers, and health and wellness, and now education.
Let me say thanks to all the adults, parents, grandparents, educators, and responsible community servants who, every Friday night, hung out with us to share ideas and instill value in us, young people. We hear from you in the streets, we get your texts and emails, and we value your feedback. You are indeed making a contribution to your community, and for that we say thank you.
So many of you guys were out of school this week. We had some showers or maybe drizzle, and for whatever reason, you guys decided to stay home. Apparently, what was it, Ada? Whatever it's called, it was showers to me or drizzle. Anyway, so Nigel, what did you do on Monday? You were off from school. You played hooky that day. What did you do?
I cleaned the house with my family and I played some games.
You played games. Okay. Speaking of which, you guys got your grades this week. Am I correct?
Yes.
And how did you do?
I got all A pluses.
All A pluses.
All right.
Super. That's what I'm talking about, Mike. All A pluses. Very good. Very proud of you. How about Anushka? Anushka on tonight? Anushka, are you with us tonight? How about, let's see, who else? Frequent flyer. James Lee. Is James Lee on tonight?
Sure.
James Lee.
Yes, sir.
Are you on? Okay, obviously you are. How did you do this? You just got your report cards, right? How did you do?
I didn't get my report card yet.
Well, you didn't get a progress report?
Nope, not yet.
Okay. So only the high schoolers got it. Nigel, you're in elementary as well. So, okay. What about you? Did you get yours?
Wait, what was your question?
The question was your grade, your progress report. How was it?
I got my report card 3 weeks ago.
Oh, 3 weeks ago.
Yeah,
but you got all A pluses.
Yeah, he's in private school, so he started on time.
Oh,
he wasn't like the public school. They started late.
Got you. So did you all get a day on Monday too, Nigel?
Yes.
Y'all got the day off. Okay. What about you, Neil?
Well, according to
Anushka's here. We're having some tech issues with the laptop. I'll be on shortly. Okay. Neil, what were you saying, Neil?
On my report card, I got 3 B's and 4 A's.
3 B's and 4 A's. Way to go. What were the A's in?
It was in French, environmental science,
and who?
I'm trying to remember it.
Oh, you don't remember what classes you had?
No, but I know that French and environmental science, those I got like a high A in. Like those are extremely easy classes for me.
Oh, they were easy. So what were the other two? Basket weaving and gardening?
Basketball.
biology.
Not necessarily that. Okay.
Yeah, biology and
Okay.
algebra were a couple.
Algebra. You got an A in algebra. Very good.
Yeah, and
All right.
GIS also, which is a pretty new class in the district. So that class is quite fun, like to see that.
You got A's and wow.
Yeah.
Way to go. I noticed DJ's not on tonight. Shamari, what's happening? What's going on? Hey, Shamari. Mr. Caesar. Okay. He's probably asleep, probably doing one.
No, I'm here. It's low.
What's low?
I said it's low.
Oh, slow. Oh, the system is slow. Hey, that happens. That happens sometime. Maybe our politicians on the line can help us get a better system down here in South Florida. So Shamari, how was school this week? Did you take Monday? You got Monday off too, right?
No.
Oh, so see, at least okay, you went to a real school then. So the showers didn't stop you from having a day off. Now you got your report card.
Yeah. My bad. Yeah.
What does that mean? You had the day off too?
Monday I had day off.
Okay.
Monday I had a day.
And how was your grades? How's your grades? Hey. How was your grades?
It's not
It's the
best. Not the best.
yeah. What does that mean? Kind of, sort of, right? We're working on it.
Yeah,
All
I'm
right.
working on it.
You're working on it. All right.
Yeah.
We'll
And
talk offline.
All right.
You and I and Mr. Short will talk offline about it. You know Mr. Short, right?
Mr. Short? No.
Yeah. All right. We'll meet Mr. Short soon, and we'll talk offline to see what we can do to improve that. See, Miss White, Miss White, are you back with us? Miss White? All right. Well, in a few days, guys, in fact, 11 days to be exact, we'll be presenting Thanksgiving baskets to 100 families here in Delray Beach. We would love to have you as part of this effort. Okay. We're asking each of you everyone who's listening, we're asking you to donate one or rather at least 3 non-perishable items for the baskets. We're trying to put together baskets for 100 families. So we're asking you to donate at least 3 non-perishable items. That could be canned food or whatever you have in your pantry. Just make sure we get that. We'll be grateful for that. Okay. If it's not in your budget, or if it's in your budget, we will accept cash and we will buy food with that. Thank you in advance for your support. And as usual, you're welcome to join us at Pompey Park on Tuesday, November 20th, as we pass out these baskets in a drive-through version.
Welcome our friends who are joining us on either KOP Mentoring Network or Boca Raton's Tribune Facebook pages or on Instagram at KOP Network. And here is our streaming flyer at Facebook where you can get us on the daily. Or for our high school seniors, we are at the height of the scholarship season. I feel this very strongly. The stress of everything is starting to come on. Please make sure that you are checking your emails as we will be sending out information on scholarships. If you are a graduating senior, a freshman in college, community college specifically, with less than 21 credits or a graduate of a community college, an immigrant student as well, you may qualify for the DREAM Scholarship, which is a Pell Grant for highly motivated dreamers with significant unmet financial need. Visit www.thedream.us to learn more.
And I can see the Quantum Foundation also has a scholarship for young Black males who are enrolled in a medical science academy in one of our Palm Beach County high schools. You must be pursuing a degree in healthcare. So if you're interested, you can learn more about this at www.scholarship.org. Also, Palm Beach County residents once again have the opportunity to apply for food assistance through the county's services department. Under the CARES Act, the county is issuing prepaid credit cards to eligible households for food purchases. Only one card will be issued per household, and all expenditure must be made by the 30th of December. To qualify, you must either be able to show a recent pay stub, file tax return, or have a government valid ID. Okay. You can see on our screen if you're interested in applying, or you can also see the address on our Facebook pages. Let's see. I notice we have our state representative, the Honorable Mike Carusa, who's hanging out with us. Sir, congratulations on your recent re-election, and thank you for hanging out with us on Friday night. I know it's a Friday night. You're a busy person, and I'm sure you have another engagement tonight. But we certainly appreciate you stopping by to say hello.
Thanks, C-Ron. I appreciate the opportunity, and what a great thing you're doing with this community outreach. It's just fantastic. Just hearing the kids online and talking about their grades and everything in the school, and wow, it's just a great program, and I'm glad just to be a little part of it right now.
Thank you, Mike. I know you have a very short window with us, but I'm gonna have you please, either in the new year or sometime in December when you get back. I'd love for you to come back, and we have some things we want to talk about as it relates to our community here. I know you're heading back, I think, on Sunday for your swearing in on Monday, I think. What are your top 3 issues, if you will, that you plan to address this session?
Oh, wow. Top 3 issues. One of the things is, if you're familiar with the Sadowski Fund, I'm sure you are.
Yes.
It was started way back in the 1990s, and we've never really fully funded it. And I've got to go back up to Tallahassee and push real hard for that. We send $22 million up to Tallahassee in form of tax contributing that's supposed to go in the Sadowski Fund. And then when we don't fully fund it, like last year, we ended up getting about $2 million of it back. And it's just wrong. We need the kids, if you're online here, the Sadowski Fund is a fund set up at the state level that the money is supposed to go to low-income housing construction and low-income housing redevelopment. So if you're in a low-income area and you've got old 1945, 1950 jalousie windows, we need to get those replaced with hurricane impact windows. And that's what this fund is supposed to do, to upgrade the community. And it's something that's really needed by many people in our community, and it's been missed for almost 30 years now. So we've got.
So you want to bring back some money back to your community to help quality of life, if you will.
Absolutely.
What's your top number 2 and 3? Number 2 and 3.
And well, you mentioned one thing about police and law enforcement in general. And one thing that I want to do is, and that I've always pushed for, is we need increase. And I hear that we get talk about the different defunding of police in different cities. I think we need increased funding for the police for things like better training on these circumstances where these circumstances become elevated and hostile, and we need better training on that, so that our police are better equipped mentally and knowledge wise of how to handle the situation. And I also want to I want to seek additional funds for the police. For things like psychiatrists and psychologists to work with the police in the community when they come upon these situations that are hostile. Kind of like, when everybody and kids, you've seen it, when somebody's standing on top of a building ready to jump, we don't go tase the person. We don't go shoot the person. We get psychologists and people to try to talk them off the ledge, so to speak. And we need to do the same thing when we get in situations where there's hostility and aggressive behavior, and we need to talk them down instead of tasing them or shooting them or whatever, you know. And I think if we can find the additional funding in the state budget, I think that's something that's critical that we absolutely need to do.
You know,
Yeah.
Mike, how ironic! Just yesterday, I was with the Delray Beach Police Department. They were one of the first
You're
agencies in the
breaking
county
up. You're breaking up.
that is now.
See, Ron,
I'm
can
sorry,
you
can you
say
hear
that
me?
again?
Just yes, how ironic you're saying this. Just yesterday, I was with the Delray Beach Police Department, and they are one of the first agencies in the county to have mental health counselors now riding with the police officers between 8 a.m. and midnight. So, because the same reason that you're addressing. So this would be quite helpful, I'm sure, especially in this community.
And it's very expensive, and but I think it's something that's so imperative, so necessary, and you know, I'm glad, you know, Chief Sims is a great police chief. He's been in this community for a long time, and he's worked hard to know every face in the community. And so hats off to Chief Sims for making that happen in our city's finest.
Thank you, Mike. For those who don't know, guys, Honorable Caruso was instrumental in one of our local youth getting a new lease on life just a few weeks ago. We had a young man here who lost his civil rights because of taking the wrong path while he was in college, and he could not pursue his lifelong dream to be a police officer. The military wouldn't even touch this young man. Thanks to Representative, our governor pardoned this young man, and he recently was awarded a scholarship to attend the police academy this coming January. So I just want to say thank you for that, sir. We would love again to have you back to tell us about why you did that and for this young man, you know. But one last question before you leave. It is a known fact that kids who have high quality early learning experience, they certainly do better than the rest for the rest of their lives. As one of our local legislators, what are your plans to make sure that all our kids, all our babies have access to great early learning experiences, sir?
Well, that is the $1 million question, C. Ron. I think one of the things we need to do is, oh my God, so many things. I think we need to change the way we teach. I think we need to not force kids to go to bad schools because of their zip code they live in. So more vouchers. And you know, and we need to continue to allocate additional funds to our school system. And we need to change the way that we need to get rid of bad teachers that aren't doing their job, and allocate those funds to teachers that are ready to do the job for our kids. You know, when I went to school, and I know my kids went to school, I've got 7 kids out there, and they're all grown up now, 21 to 36 years old. And you know, there was teachers that they had that showed up during the day, and you know, they went to class and they were there, and I'm sure all the kids online here, and you know, they got some teachers that you know, they teach them and they do their job, and there's teachers that come in and they love them, and you know, and they care, and they you know, they put their heart and soul into it, and we need more of that. And I think we need to be able to, you know, encourage teachers to take on that kind of position.
Sounds good. Mike, I know you got to run. Be respectful of your time, but please, 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 I'm going to work with your people to have you back to talk to us. What would you like to say to your constituents as you head back to the state's capital?
Well, you know, I'm going to go there and I'm going to fight for all of you. It's what I do. I don't care about the politics, you know, Democrat, Republican, left or right, conservative or liberal. I'm there for the people. And that's, you know, so when it comes to a Patrick Adolphe that I got a full pardon from the governor, I didn't even find out his party affiliation until it was long over, but I'm going to be out there fighting for you. I'm going to be fighting for the kids up there. I encourage them to call me directly. I give them my phone number. It's 561-702-9319. That's
All right.
561-702-9319. If they need me, call me. And
Sounds good.
I want to be the state rep that if you need a letter to get into college and letter of reference, you need to get into college, call me and we'll write you a letter of reference. If you need help getting a job and you need a letter of referral, call me, and we'll do that. And or if you need help with your math, you might want to call C-Ron. But it's about being there for the people, and that's what I try to do every single day that I'm up there.
Thank you so much, sir. Give my regards to that lovely wife of yours. Let her know we have an audience. We have a stage and an audience for her anytime she wants to just come hang out with us on a Friday night when you're in Tallahassee.
Well, C-Ron, did you hear she's running for mayor now?
Oh, you're announcing that on my show? New mayor, which city? Tallahassee?
What, C-Ron?
Mayor of.
We'll let that go for another day.
Anyway, guys, that was our state representative, Michael Caruso. Thank you very much for being with us, Mike.
And before I go, I just want to say congratulations to what was it, Nia and Nigel and Neil and Neil. He speaks French. J'ai tout le français pour 4 années dans l'école. J'ai oublié tout. Maintenant, je parle comme un petit enfant. And so I'll ask Neil if he understood what I said. Is he on?
Neil? Yes, he is. And he smiles. Neil. Anyway, Mike, thank you, sir. It was
C-Ron, where can we donate those turkeys?
I will reach out to Tracy and get that information to you.
Great.
Okay.
Awesome. Great program.
Yep. Thank you very much, sir. I see Anushka's on. Anushka, can you hear me? Yes. How are you? Anyway, Miss Rosa White has joined us, and Miss Rosa, how are you?
Yes, good evening.
Great, great, great. You're the bearer of good news these days. You have some good news for us.
Yes, I do.
Well,
So
give it.
Are you ready?
Yeah, always ready, Rosa.
Are we ready for the news?
Born. We were born ready.
Okay. Greetings from the Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Oratorical Academy team. Please save the date of Sunday, December 13th, from 2 to 4 p.m. for the annual Martin Luther King Jr. Oratorical Contest. This year's contest will be hosted live from the Oscar Lodge in Delray Beach. Social distancing and the wearing of masks will be observed. Seating will be limited to invitations only. The event will be broadcast live on Facebook. Contestants will be required to be in person at the Oscar Lodge. With us coming off the heels of a history-making election, this year's essay topic will be, do we need the Electoral College to pick our president? Contestants will compete in three categories: elementary, middle, and high school. Cash prizes will be awarded for the winners in the finals. First place will earn $100 and a speaking opportunity for the Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Breakfast in January. Second place will be awarded $75, and the third place will receive $50. All winners will receive a backpack of school supplies and an award-winning book entitled The Nichols Boys, courtesy of Janet Meeks. Essays are due by 3 p.m. Wednesday, December 2nd. Rules and applications can be found at the kopmn.org or on the KOP Mentoring Network Facebook site. For more information, call 561-665-0151 or email info@kopmn.org. That's info@kopmn.org. Get those essays in.
Well, thank you so much, Miss White. I just was just handed a letter here that I was asked to read. So let me see what this is about. Well, Miss Brown is on the line. How are you? Miss Nina.
You're breaking up.
I'm breaking up.
Yeah.
Okay, let's try to do this. I was handed it. It says, Miss Nia Brown, Delray Beach, Florida. Hello, Miss Brown. The KOP Mentoring Network Oratorical Academy will hold our 2020 Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Oratorical Contest on Sunday, December 13th from 2 to 4 p.m. at the Arts Garage in Delray Beach. You're cordially invited to share your award-winning speech on Vice President-elect Kamala Harris at the event. Social distance will be practiced and the event will be by invitation only. Again, we would be honored to have you and we look forward to seeing you on Sunday, December 13th. Kind regards, Miss Rosa White, chairperson. So that I'm sure that'll be sent to you, and we look forward to having you.
Thank you for this opportunity.
Miss Brown, you, Miss White, you're on the line still, right? Miss White. Okay, I see you have joined us now, Miss Anushka.
Mr. Sharon.
Where you been? We've been waiting on you a whole hour and a half now. Where have you been? We missed you.
I was here, but before I was trying to
Pull your camera down, sweetheart. Pull your camera down. DJ, how are you? I can't hear you. I can't hear you, DJ. Back to you, Anushka. So, Anushka, we had a drizzle on Monday and school was out. So, what did you do on Monday? Did you go to the beach or what'd you do? Stayed in bed all day?
No, I went to Palm Beach Helicopters.
Palm Beach Helicopters. What'd you do there? Oh, DJ, you heard that? What'd you do at Palm Beach Helicopters?
We saw helicopters. We saw training helicopters. We did a helicopter simulator, and we did a video about our experience.
Okay. Well, I'm sure you have some photos to share with us. We'll invite you back one of these days to tell us about your experience at the Palm Beach Helicopters. Is that okay?
So you would like me to share the pictures now?
Let me see if we have time. Can you do it in a minute? Less than a minute?
There's a lot of pictures that I can
Waste a lot of pictures. What are you talking about? 20 pictures?
Okay.
All right, let's do about 30 seconds worth. Go ahead, I'll tell you when to cut it. You know, in my ears telling me we got to roll, so let's do it. Let's go ahead. Okay, we get back to you, Anushka. All right, go ahead.
Okay.
Oh, that's cool. Okay, next. Were you? Okay, that's all right. Keep going. That's all. Ooh. That's the same, huh? Beautiful.
That's all of the pictures.
Oh, okay. All right. Not bad. Very good. All right. Daryl, take it away.
Well, we can say for sure that Anushka here is a leader. And here at KOP, we believe that leadership training prepares youth to manage their time, work in a team setting, set goals, start conversations, facilitate meetings, and make effective presentations, as we have just been graced with, all of which are positive life skills that they will carry into adulthood. Please direct your attention to our friend, Mr. John Maxwell, for our Leadership Minute. Thank you. Let's roll that video up, please, if we have it with us.
The light we see from the stars today, the light from the nearest.
No, that's not it, Neil. Maxwell Minute.
Hi, John Maxwell here. Welcome to Minute with Maxwell. I walked into a store one day and I saw this sign, and it said 57 rules to success. The first rule was be successful and produce results. Then it said, second rule through the rest of them, they really don't matter. Just do the first one. Get results, produce, bring something home, make something happen. When people ask me, John, how do I spot a potential leader? I always say to them, the first thing I look for is a person that can produce results. Why? Because if you can be successful and produce results for yourself, the odds begin to increase that you can help someone else do the very same thing. If you can't produce, you can't teach others how to do that. You see, we teach what we know, but we reproduce who we are. So ask yourself, what do I do well? What am I good at? Whatever it is, get better, practice it, and then pass it on to someone else and help them get better also. Results, production, good words. People that can do that well are people that become highly successful. Thanks for joining me today on Minute with Maxwell.
What a great lesson for us to all learn. Special welcome to our friends in the Bahamas, Belize, Jamaica, Tobago, and the U.S. Virgin Islands. Please remember to share community conversation on your social media pages. If you missed a show, you can find it on Boca Raton Tribune or KOP Mentoring Network's Facebook pages.
You're on mute, Ciron.
Dina, why didn't you unmute me? Anyway, Dina, this segment, as I said, is brought to you by the generous donation of Healthier Delray Beach. Thank you, Mr. John. Blanc's New Look Barbershop, DNA Total Fitness, Jeff Stern, CPA Network for Good. And by the way, let me add that we have 2 new sponsors this week. That's Jeff Stern, CPA, and Network for Good. Thank you very much. We have Mr. Ezra Krieg, Marsha Eisenberg, and Doug Young. Thanks to all our sponsors, we're able to bring you community conversation each week. As you interact with your friends and neighbors, please tell them to like our sponsors on Facebook and thank them for caring about our young people. Let me just say tonight's show is produced by Miss Joadina Bazoo, a graduating senior at Atlantic Community High School, as well as the Milagros Center. On my side kick in the hosting chair tonight is Mr. Darryl Creary, a graduating senior at Atlantic Community High School. And our illustrious cinematographer is Neil Sunsky, Neil Noel. And Neil's a proud part of KOP Mentor Network and Village Academy. Mr. Ezekiel Hartley, graduating senior at Florida A&M University in Tallahassee, serving as our production intern, and he's responsible for all the increased presence that we now have on social media. Folks, I'm proud to announce an addition to the KOP family, Miss Dashnice Philibert, and she'll be charged with creating our graphics for this segment. We've come a long way, and she's going to take us to the next level. Miss Dashnice is a junior at Atlantic School, so that means, Mr. Swart, we have her for at least 2 more years. Folks, 1 week ago, we left the show not knowing the fate of either presidential candidates. 1 week later, we have a president-elect, yet the process is still mired in political snags. Our young people have seen a lot this year in terms of leadership, and this is not the example we want to impart or instill on our future leaders. Anyway, Mr. John, how are you hanging, brother?
Doing well, sir. Doing well. Definitely stress level a little bit down this Friday as opposed to anxiety and kind of the stress we had last Friday as we were waiting on the election results. And crazy part is I've been watching CNN and the different major networks, and the time that I left to get something to eat on Saturday, that's when they announced who the next president-elect would be and our vice president-elect. So yeah, and then it's been a lot, of course, in the news this week about the voting, and then I wanted to do a quick plug. I don't know if we have any friends from Georgia joining us, but wanted to remind our friends from the state of Georgia that the deadline to register for the runoff election is December 7th, and the actual runoff for the 2 Senate seats will be on January 5th. And so kind of like we implored everyone to get engaged in the presidential election, I definitely want to make sure that our friends from Georgia, they came out for the presidential election, but they need to come out again for these 2 key Senate races. And, anytime we can be a part of the political process and make our voice heard, it's always a beautiful thing. So yeah, it's been definitely been an interesting week. It's been good to keep up with everything, and then hopefully through some of these procedural things that we have left, and we should have Joe Biden and Kamala Harris taking office on January 20th. So as long as the electors vote in the best interests of their states and their citizens in their states, then we should have, hopefully, I can't call it a seamless transition as we've heard, but hopefully there is a transition of power and we can continue to operate in 2021 to the best of our ability. Neil, there is a video that Mr. C. Ron shared with us. Could you play that video?
To reach us. So when you go out in the bosom of the night and God shows you a star to prove to you darkness doesn't have the final say, the light you see from the closest star is 4 years old. The light we see from the stars today has traveled millions of miles to reach us. Yesterday, we saw a star in Kamala Harris, Black woman, standing beside a white man with disability, first Black woman of Indian descent, the woman that ought to be vice president. But the light we saw yesterday is the light cast a long time ago. A friend of mine said that star started shining in 1619 when they put us in slave ships, but the stars were already there. That light had to travel down. We couldn't see it yet in the hull of those slave ships. Her glory. The light you saw on that stage yesterday, that's Harriet Tubman. Just getting to our eyes. That's Sojourner's Truth, what she believed, just coming to fruition. That's Fannie Lou Hamer saying, this little light of mine, I'm going to light it, shine it. If they hadn't have shown that light then, we wouldn't see what we're seeing now. That's Ida B. Wells. That's Black women sororities who were organized for Black lives and to help deal with voter suppression. And that light had to travel through the generations to reach a new generation. And then the light from hundreds of years ago showed up on stage last night. Look at God. God can start a light way back yonder. And then the light come. We are blessed by the light that shone years ago. No wonder Kamala came out to introduce Biden, but the song she came out on was from Mary J. Blige, and Mary J. Blige was preaching. Now, y'all may not say she's preaching, but I know preaching when I hear preaching, because when she said, let them get mad, they're going to hate anyway. Do you get that? Doesn't matter if you're going on with their plan. They'll never be happy because they're not happy with themselves. Now, work what you got. Ha! I'm about things that I know. Now, work what you got. It's okay to show yourself some love. Now, work what you got. Don't worry about who's saying what. It's going to be fine. What you work, what you got. Feeling great because the light's on me. Celebrating the thing everyone told me would never happen. But God has put his hand on me, and ain't a man alive who can take it from me. Working with what I got to keep on taking care of myself. I want to live long. Ain't never ashamed what life did to me because I'm going to work what I got. That's all Jesus is saying. Work what you got. Ye are the light of the world.
I will say a quick plug. So Brother Reverend William Barber, of course, is a member of Alpha Fraternity, but he's also, he came from North Carolina Central University, so he's one of my chapter brothers. And so I got a chance to connect with him back when I was an undergraduate. So yeah, he's definitely a graduate of North Carolina Central University. We're proud of Brother Reverend William Barber, Gamma Beta chapter. So I come from good lineage, and I will say that, for someone, to come from an HBCU of Howard University and then, pledge a Black letter Greek sorority and AKA, and then to get vice president of the United States. And so, regardless of your political affiliation and who do you side with, it's still encouraging to see that, Black people and other minority groups are able to rise and get to that level and that stature. So again, like I always want to encourage everyone to stay civically engaged and, challenge your political officials and leaders. So that's what I have for this week.
Thank you, Mr. John. Thank you, sir. Before we move on, Darryl, let me just share this with you. We're getting quite a few texts, quite a few emails. Thank you to all those who are communicating to us. But there are two I want to pass along. Mr. Allen, please pass on to that young man that he has a very promising future. I like his rapport, his delivery. That's you, Darryl. They like your delivery. Please keep it up. The second one said, Mr. Darryl Creary is an awesome, excellent communicator. The next Don Lemon. Ooh. And it is not in sports or entertainment, a well-rounded individual. So I pass it along to you, my young brother.
Thank you. That it's good to serve, I guess. Thank you so much.
Okay, Mr. Lemon. All right, Miss Alex.
Well, good evening, everyone. Listening to what Darryl said earlier about having this anxiety with so much information going on with high school graduation coming along, I am the chairman of CAP, which is a college application process for Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated. If there are any juniors or seniors who are having difficulties or need guidance with college applications or the process in general, I will leave my email address in the chat, and you are more than welcome to come to me, and I am more than happy to help you. I know it's a daunting process, but I have lots of tricks in my book and we'll get it done. That being said, learning never stops for us, and the fact of the matter is that teaching is one of the most rewarding jobs out there. While it's true that more than 60% of new teachers enter the field via undergraduate programs, there's been a growing trend of mature adults entering teaching as a second career. Tonight, we will hear from two educators who came to the teaching profession later in life about the pros and cons of being an old new teacher. Our first guest is Kenneth Swart, an IB English and Language Arts instructor at Atlantic Community High School. He's been teaching for 15 years, and prior to that, he had an impressive 20-plus year career as a journalist. This includes 15 years as a highly respected reporter, columnist, and editor with the Sun Sentinel newspaper. We also are lucky to have Miss Corey Walls, who also is an IB film instructor at Atlantic Community High School. Before entering the classroom, she worked in television, including a stint at CNN. So thank you so much for joining us this evening. So we are going to start with Mr. Swart. As you know quite well, we all have a voice and want to tell our story. So you spent your entire working life doing just that, helping people. As a newspaper reporter and columnist, you help neighbors tell their stories. As a media relations director for nonprofit agencies, you help people share their stories to raise money to help others. And today, as a teacher, you are helping teens create their own stories. What are some of the pros and cons for you entering teaching after these previous careers? Mr. Swart, 1 second. Neil, can you unmute him, please? Neil, thank you.
Sorry about that. Can you hear me okay now?
Yes, perfect.
Okay. One of the things I learned as a reporter, and it really transfers to my work as a teacher, is that the number one goal is that it's not about me. It was never about me. It's always about my students. So I always try to step aside and think to myself, what is it going to take for my students to succeed? What do they need from me? And if I keep my focus on my students, I know I'll be able to do a good job.
Riveting. So why did you choose teaching as a career?
That's also a good question. It's kind of funny. My original specialty as a reporter was education coverage. And when I worked in public relations, my job was to promote educational programs. So I think it sort of was a natural progression for me to end up as a teacher after having talked to teachers and done so many stories about teachers.
Absolutely. Well, from myself and the rest of the Community Conversations family, we thank you so much for everything that you've done. Teachers are the foundation. But can you please stand by, because I'm sure that the guests are going to have questions for you later. So don't leave me.
Of course.
Awesome. Thank you. Miss Walls, how are you this evening?
I'm good, thank you.
Wonderful. So a second career teacher, often some of the best teachers that ever come into the field, bringing a rich combination of experience, perspective, and to those who are around them, you bring so much energy and enthusiasm, and that energy and enthusiasm tends to motivate students and inspire other teachers. So what do you find to be the best part of teaching?
That's a loaded question for me, because I didn't choose teaching. Teaching chose me. I had no intention. I come from a family of educators, so I had no intention to be a teacher. My goal was always to be a television or news reporter. I would say, with regard to bringing enthusiasm to the classroom, I think that it's really important to, and just like Mr. Swart said, I think it comes back to our years of working as journalists, to connect with people. I get to know all of my students. I get to know them either privately through different activities in class, or just flat out just talking to them. But I'm a very outspoken, loud person. So you have no chance to talk to me when you're in my classroom. You can't be quiet in my class. But I'm more or less, I love teaching. I love connecting with the kids, but I am very much involved in social issues outside of the classroom and what's going on in our country right now. I was told by my initial principal that hired me that he wanted me to bring in the real world experience into the classroom. So I do that. When we talk about what's going on in the world, we talk about what's going on in our country, we talk about what's happened here just in Palm Beach County. So I have a lot of students that get involved with doing projects for Black Lives Matter. We do stuff for Black History Month, not just in February. And I really believe in the kids utilizing my classroom, because really it is just an elective. It's a video class. But I make sure that they're learning something about themselves and about the world by using video as a platform. Is my best.
Well, I heard you say you're teaching just an elective, but I can tell you from my days being in school, whether it's an elective or not, when you're an electric teacher like you and Mr. Swart, you leave such impactful moments for us. And I remember all the teachers who touched me. So I don't want you two to think that you're not fantastic in touching other students. But I do have
Miss Anderson, Miss Anderson, before you go on, I just someone just said Mrs. Walls literally lights up whatever room she walks into. So
thank you. Well, sometimes it's my mouth that lights up too, though, depending on my mood. I'm very outspoken. Just to let you guys know, another thing that I'm passionate about, and for the students that are on this call, yes, I did start out as a TV reporter. I worked for Fox, I worked for CBS, I worked for CNN, but at the end of the day, that's just like noise as far as you're really not making an impact on people's lives when you're knocking on doors after someone's died and you're having to interview the family member. Being in the classroom and talking to young people about their hopes and what they want to do and being instrumental to having you look up scholarships, to apply for college, to do all the things that you want to do, that's what makes me happy. And I do feel that every aspect of your life, as you get older, it changes from one thing to the next. So first, for me, it was journalism. Then it became teaching, which I literally just fell into. But then, you bring your own personal experiences into the classroom. And for me, I came from a single parent home where my father passed away when I was an infant. So last year, I started a club on campus specifically for kids whose parents passed away. So we have 45 kids now on campus identified, have lost, if not just one, two, both parents. So my focus for them is obviously their the dealing with their grief, but also making sure that they have, since they only have one parent, that someone's helping them look for money for college. Someone's explaining to them where to go to school and not just picking the colors of the mascot for what school they want to go to, that they're actually researching and figuring out the best education for them. And if college is not their route, they're not going to leave the classroom without a plan. So I feel like regardless of whatever you guys go into for your future for college, just realize everything is, you evolve through the next chapter of your life. And I'm hoping that my club is called Steve's Club. I named it after my dad. So that club, I hope evolves to something bigger while I'm still in my progress. So just to let you guys know, like, keep it, those that go to Atlantic, stop by my room. I'd be happy to help you.
Ms. Anderson, it's should be noted that just I think late last year, Mrs. Walls was awarded one of our local recognition from one of our local nonprofit organization as one of our top teachers at Atlantic High School for her efforts there. So roots and wings. So again, congratulations, Ms. Walls.
Thanks.
That's wonderful, Ms. Walls. I want to pick your brain. So we talked a little bit about how education chose you. So do you think just having so many educators in your family, do you think that kind of subconsciously affected your choices to switch from maybe the media to go into education?
Not at all. I come from the stereotypical loud Jewish New York mother, so absolutely not. I did not want to listen to her tell me how to run my classroom. So no, I had no intention to ever be a teacher. I actually left Fox when I had my first child, and my husband worked for FedEx, and we were transferred down here to Florida. And I am not the stay-at-home type of person for moms. So I started teaching at Atlantic, teaching ESOL as a second language, the adult ed. And the old principal, Dr. Larkart, walked in the office one day and was like, I'm looking for a TV production teacher. And a coworker was like, Corey used to be a TV reporter. And he literally hired me the next day. I had no intention to ever work full-time or teach. And I contemplated quitting like about every 3 weeks for the first quarter or first half of the school year. But now I love it. Like, it's awesome. I don't have to get dressed up to go to work. That's what Mr. Swart told me my hair was nice today because it's normally in a ponytail. And I just like coming and like hanging out with the kids and teaching them about video and making sure their videos are going towards scholarships. That is my goal. And my other goal is to be a voice to the students so that they can open up their minds and respect all groups of people. I have no tolerance for any group of people to be discriminated against in my classroom. So that's a big thing with me. If you come to my classroom, you'll see like a big sign outside that says that. But I just really believe in like using my medium for change.
Well, thank you so much for being with us this evening. You two are so impressive. I do have two more questions for both of you. What are your approaches to classroom management?
Don't mess with me.
I like it.
I'm pretty much straightforward. My students know that as long as they respect me, I respect them, and they respect each other. And most of the time, I only have a couple of kids in the beginning of the school year that try me. But once they see that it's not happening, I got to a point where I can't get rid of kids out of my classroom. But I'm kind of disappointed. Is his name Daryl? I can't see.
Daryl.
I want to know why he didn't take my class.
Daryl.
Okay.
He was
It's
too busy
really
with mine.
unfortunate. Really, for a long time, I really thought that I wanted to do something in the medical field, and then right at the end of junior year, I made that random switch to journalism. But by then, I didn't have any of the prerequisites I would need or any of the experience I would need to like start off in that. So I'm like kind of in this awkward phase right now, but I'm glad that I'm able to get opportunities like this so I can at least express that interest and grow from it, because otherwise I'll just be like stumped, like half and halfway, if you understand.
Stop by or email me anytime if you need anything.
Thank you, Ms. Walls. I will.
And this is what we love about community conversations. We make connections every day. And with that being said, Mr. Swart, how do you manage or how do you manage your classroom?
Okay, so I'm teaching all seniors, so I don't really have a problem with classroom management. But what I will say is what an assistant principal taught me my first year of teaching. And you've heard it before, but it is so true. They don't care what you know till they know that you care. So that was a challenge to me. I need to let my students know that I care about them first. Right? It's really true that you have to earn respect. So if I can do that at the beginning of the school year, then everything should fall into place at the end of the school year.
That's truly found and very true. And the two of you have such like honestly positive energy that I want to take your class. So if you see a short person in the back, it's me. Do you have a success story that you want to share with us, either of you or both?
Ms. Walls?
Are we talking about like an individual student success story or something that's been done on campus? Because I honestly feel like my club that I have, and I hate to use the word club because it's for students whose kids passed away. You know, the group that I've established. Growing up myself, I thought that I was the only person in my school, and I believe I was the only person in my high school that had lost a parent. But here, I've been able to connect the kids in a network of all different kids. Like death does not discriminate. You know, we've got Black, white, Hispanic, gay, straight, football player, IB, not that football players aren't smart, but you know what I'm saying? Like we've got the whole gamut. So they've all become a network with each other. They have each other's backs and they encourage each other to come to the meetings. So that's my success story, because I know that those kids are really suffering at home emotionally. And on multiple levels, not just from a death, but also maybe dealing with the parent that is alive they don't get along with. Or some kids have lost both parents. So I feel like a success story is to make sure that these kids are going to college and have a plan and have money and know the right college for what they want to study. So that's what I'm very passionate about. And I feel like it has been successful because just this year we got 10 more kids in it from losing their parents in the first semester of school. So,
may I ask a quick follow-up question? Can a student who's lost maybe a close family member, like a grandparent or an aunt or an uncle, would they be able to join as well?
As long as that person was a caregiver. So if their grandparent was their primary caregiver, absolutely. We have a gentleman in the group that his older brother was his primary caregiver. He is in the group. But it's not a group that is focused on losing extended family members. As sad as that is, it's a different loss when it is your parent or your guardian. So that's what we want to concentrate on.
Fantastic. Thank you so much for sharing. Mr. Swart, what is your success story? Or do you have?
Okay, so I've had a lot, thank God, but I want to share something that happened literally just a couple of weeks ago. I was offering my students an opportunity to create questions for discussion that I wanted to use maybe next year or the year afterwards. But remember, we were doing this all virtually. We were doing this online. So I was trying to explain what I wanted, and literally before I was finished with the explanation, one of my students had created a Google Doc, and he shared it with the rest of the class, and the rest of the class immediately started adding into the Google Doc some of their proposed questions in real time. And I was literally watching them create these great discussion questions while they were doing it. And all I had to do was sit back and watch. And I was thinking to myself, these kids have literally gone beyond me. I don't need to teach them. They're teaching themselves. And it was a very cool thing to watch. But the best thing of all was that they were really supporting each other at the end. They were putting in comments like, really good question, or have you thought of this, or what if we phrased it this way? It was so amazing to see the support.
Absolutely. Well, Mrs. Walls, and Mr. Swart, we have been so lucky to be able to feel your infectious energy and all of your empathy. And we're just so grateful that you're able to hang out with us this evening. So thank you so much. And if you ever want to come visit us at Community Conversations, please, we would be so happy to have you. So thank you again.
Thank you. And I'll be reaching out to you about getting, if you could come to my Steve's Club group to talk to the kids about scholarships and applying for college. So you're awesome.
Fantastic. Okay. Wonderful. Thank you so much. Daryl, take it away.
Miss Walls, Mr. Swart, thank you so much for that. You both are paragons of the education system. It just shows that even with the adversity of the current pandemic and what virtual learning has to offer with us, your contributions to the school system has not faltered. Now with that, that will about do it for this week's edition of Community Conversation. We hope you learned something tonight that will make a significant impact on your life. Young people, there's no greater investment that you can make on a Friday night than being with like-minded peeps on Community Conversation. Next week, we'll hear from some people who were victims of discrimination based on their hairstyle or texture, an exciting segment for me to explore. Thank you to all of our guests, and a big, sincere shout out to the Boca Raton Tribune for simulcasting us on Facebook, and our sponsors, Healthier Delray Beach, Blanc New Look Barbershop, DNA Total Fitness, Jeff Stern CPA, Network for Good, Wellness Financial, Roots and Wings, Ezra Craig, Marsha Eisenberg, and Doug Young. As we wrap up tonight's session, we leave you with this message.
A mask can say a lot about the person who wears it. But even more about the person who doesn't.
Very insightful. So thank you so much again for joining us at Community Conversation. We hope to see you again next week and sooner then. Have a good night.